Good evening. Welcome, everyone. My name is Roy Enriquez. I am a social worker here at Sacred Hearts. Today's group meeting is going to be anger management, but we're going to focus more on coping skills. So I'd like to set some rules before we begin. The first is that there's no crosstalk. Coming to groups like this is hard enough. When someone's speaking, we need to give them all of our attention and let them finish. Second, there will be no glorifying. If there was something that we did when we were mad, we need to make sure that we don't go back and think that that was something good. You know, we're here to move forward. We don't want to move backward. And third, everything that is said here is going to remain confidential. Everything that is said is going to be built in trust. And we are going to work together to help each other grow. So I've introduced myself. I'd like to go around the table real quick and briefly introduce yourself. And since this is an anger management group, I would like to hear about your day today. And I will start with my left.
My name is Natalie, and my day today was horrible, so I don't want to be here. I don't want to do anything.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
My name is Myra, and today my car got dented, so I'm pretty pissed off.
Thank you for sharing, Myra.
My name's Gabby, and my day was alright. A few things here and there that upset me, but overall it was good.
Thank you.
My name is Sagnity, and my day was pretty good. So, better than other days, so I'm glad.
All right, thank you. So, like I said, we're going to focus on coping skills today. What do you know about coping skills, Myra?
That they're supposed to help you cope, I guess.
Exactly, that they're supposed to help us cope. And what are they supposed to help us cope with, Gabby?
I don't know, other people?
Other people?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're supposed to help us cope with like these challenges. And sometimes people test us and we're gonna try not to get mad, but we're gonna kind of work through it with these coping skills. So I have a handout for you all that I'd like you all to review. And on this handout, we have healthy versus unhealthy coping strategies, coping skills. So a lot of us think that coping skills are going to make us feel better, but not a lot of us know the difference between a good coping skill and a bad coping skill. Sometimes a lot of us like to sleep, but that may not be the best option for coping. So who can read me one coping skill from this that you use, whether it be from the good coping skills or the bad coping skills? What about you, Natalie?
I do alcohol use. That's how I cope. I drink it. It makes everything go away.
Okay, and do you believe that's a good coping skill or a bad coping skill?
I believe it's a great coping skill.
All right, thank you for sharing. Myra?
Aggression.
Aggression? Okay, and do you believe that's a good coping skill or a bad coping skill?
Good.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Overeating, I guess. I know it's a bad coping skill, but
Okay,
I
thank you.
support.
Thank you for sharing.
Mine's not in any of them, so I would tell you, I go to the range, gun shooting, like, sometimes that helps. Shooting at, those little papers or the little,
Okay, and do you believe that's a good coping skill or a bad coping skill?
I think it's a good coping skill, for me, but I know it's not, it could be bad for others.
Okay, thank you. So going back, we have alcohol, and Natalie, you believe that that is a good coping skill. In what ways have you used it that it becomes a good coping skill?
I use it to where I drink at home, and I don't get angry at anybody because I'm drinking alcohol and I don't hurt anybody.
Okay, and how many of y'all can relate to that?
I can.
Okay. Have you had any instances where someone tells you that that's not the best way to cope?
Yes, I have, and I don't like it.
Okay. Who has told you that that's not the best way to cope?
My mom.
Okay. Can any of y'all relate to a family member telling you that that's not the best way to cope?
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Myra? You said that aggression was your coping skill, and you believed it to be good. So in what ways have you used aggression and it's been a positive coping skill?
Well, I like to punch things. Usually before, I've gotten better, because before it used to be the walls. So that, I guess, kind of tied into the self-harm. But, ever since then, now I just like punch other things that are softer. And it helps me just let out the rage that I have. So I believe it helps me.
Okay. And I believe you hit the nail right on the head where it can potentially become a form of self-harm. Gabby, you mentioned that overeating, you were aware that it was an unhealthy coping skill. Okay. And what have you seen that what has shown you that it's a bad coping skill?
I guess, I know it's bad 'cause weight gain, but, I don't know, I guess food makes everybody happy, so I think it helps me when I'm upset or angry at something, so.
Thank you. And then we have your coping skill, which actually is a healthy coping skill, because it's part of a hobby. And so all of us have seen where one form of this coping skill can be negative. Although we may think that they're healthy, although we may think that they're a good coping skill, they may be bad because in one way, in your case, it affected your mother, and in your case, it affected your well-being. So we see these and we slowly start to realize that these coping skills that we had are negative coping skills. Now we take a look at our positive coping skills. Natalie, can you read me some positive coping skills that were listed on this page?
Exercise and talking about your problems.
Okay. Myra, can you list another positive coping skill?
Seeking professional help.
And we'll go with the next one.
Healthy eating.
Using social support.
Now this is gonna cause us to kind of go outside of our comfort zone. So which of these do you believe will be hardest for you? And you all can say the same thing that another person may have, because believe it or not, some of us may be going through the same things and we have similar ideas about certain coping skills. So I'll start with Myra and we'll go to her right. Myra, which one do you think you may have trouble with?
The one that looks like the simplest, which is relaxation techniques, because if I was able to relax, I wouldn't have that aggression.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mine would be talking about my problems, because talking about my problems makes me angry.
Okay. And is that because you're kind of opening up and kind of reliving everything that you may have experienced?
Yes.
Thank you for sharing.
Exercise.
Exercise.
Yeah, I'm not an exercise person, so I think that would be the hardest for me.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I would choose exercise also, because I don't make time for it.
Okay. Thank you. So now we've seen which positive coping skill is going to be the hardest. Now I want you to look at the positive coping skills again and tell me which one will be the easiest. And I'm going to start with my right.
I guess, for me it will be healthy eating, because, since I live with my mom, she makes healthy food, so I think that would be easy.
Okay. Thank you.
I think mine would be talking about my problems. I think it's just easier to talk about something instead of, hurting others or hurting yourself.
Thank you.
Problem solving techniques.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mine would be healthy eating.
Thank you. So you see, already we're starting to be able to relate with what coping skills are going to be easy and what coping skills are going to be hard. Now I have another handout for you. And with this one, I'm going to pass out some pens. And what this is we have anger stop signs. Awesome. So now as we start to get angry, there are things that we start to realize in ourselves that we know we're getting angry. When we get angry, we start to say, no, just leave me alone. Some of us may start to kind of withdraw from people. These are signs for ourselves to realize, hey, I'm getting annoyed, I'm getting mad. On the bottom of that list, we have some examples, When I'm getting angry, my face feels hot. When I'm getting angry, I start to shake. When I get angry, my eyes start to get watery. You don't have to use these examples, but I want you to think back on the last time that you were angry and write it in the stop sign. When I got angry, I what? What did you feel? What did your body do? What did your mind tell you? write one thing, or you can write multiple. And when you finish, please place your pen down so I know you've finished. Now the next part, I'm going to ask us to share. If you're not comfortable sharing, you can just say pass. But I would like to remind you all that there are no crosstalk policy. If someone's speaking, please give them your attention. Okay, so I'm going to start with my right.
I feel annoyed.
Okay, so when you get angry, you start to feel annoyed.
Yes, every sound, or if you just, if I look at you or anything, it's just annoying.
Thank you.
I feel annoyed and I raise my voice.
You raise your voice.
Yes, I feel like yelling helps me, I guess, not be so angry about it.
All right, thank you.
Well, I put it in terms of the last time I was mad. So it was just, I felt uncontrollable rage to where I felt like my blood was boiling.
Okay, thank you.
I roll my eyes and I yell.
You roll your eyes and you yell. So these are all warning signs of when we're really, really about to get angry. Now I want you to look at your other sheet of paper, the one that we just put away about healthy and unhealthy coping skills. When you start to feel like you're becoming angry, do you think that you're going to use the hard coping skill that we said? If exercising was hard for you, are you going to exercise when you get mad? Probably not, because it's probably gonna, what? Gonna frustrate you more. So can you see yourself applying your easy, healthy coping skill when you start to get mad? If you like to cook, and you cook a healthy meal, you can cook a healthy meal. If you wanna go for a walk, you can go for a walk. But we're all starting to realize when it is exactly that we're going to get angry. We need to look at the signs before we explode. And when we feel like we're going to explode, we need to start using our coping skills, the positive coping skills, the coping skills that are going to help us now and later, not the ones that are going to affect our family or our health. Okay. So I have one more handout for you, and you're going to keep your pens because this one's going to involve a little bit of writing. Now on this handout, this is where it's going to start to get a little real. It's going to ask you to discuss something that you're going through right now. It's going to describe a problem that you're facing. And then it's going to ask you to list some unhealthy coping strategies, unhealthy coping skills that you have used to try to face this. And I'm going to give you a little bit of time to fill this out. And once you finish the unhealthy coping skills section, move down. The bottom part's going to ask you to list 3 healthy coping strategies, 3 healthy coping skills. Write those. You can go back to the sheet that we had at first to help guide you.
But it doesn't have to be.
But it does not have to be from that list, correct? like the activity before, when you finish, please place your pen down so I know you've finished. You can fill out what you can. Okay, so now I'd like everyone's pen in the middle. And before we start sharing, I'd like to say that where you all are right now is a huge step from where you were last week, 2 weeks ago, even yesterday. To make the effort to come in and want to make a change. You yourself said that. You yourself sat yourself here to begin this journey. And that takes a lot of strength. So as we go around, don't fear judgment of what we have written. Don't be quick to judge. We're all here for the same reason. We're all here for the same purpose. So as we begin sharing, I'm going to start with my left with Natalie, and we'll go around the room. I want to remind you all again of the no crosstalk. Please allow the person to finish completely. Natalie?
So my problem is that my mom wants me to stop drinking, and she nags me so much that it makes me mad. So an unhealthy coping strategy is that I drink more and that I overeat. A healthy coping strategy for me would be exercising, maybe going fishing, or even going dancing.
Thank you, Natalie.
Right now I'm dealing with that my grades are slipping. So I've been drinking and using drugs occasionally, like every now and then. So, I've been trying to do like some meditation and breathing exercises, and I came here, so some professional help.
Thank you.
The problem I'm dealing with is financial problems and car problems. So my unhealthy coping strategies are alcohol use and oversleeping. So I figured I can work on that and seek help, exercise, or just go out, distract myself.
Like a nature hike or something.
Something out there, fun.
Thank you.
I'm having financial problems with school, so that's one of them, and I think that I worry too much about it, because I know it's not, how can I put this? Like, I don't get full financial aid, but I also work part-time to come to school, so it all clutters, and either I pay something or pay a class, so it all gets to me. So I worry too much about that, and even though I go to the gun range and everything, and I try to be more organized with my finances, it still gets to me, even when I try to meditate. So if I take a walk, like she said, hike or something, maybe that would help also.
all shared a problem, a personal problem that we're going through. We all shared the unhealthy coping skills that we've already tried, but we're still here. So now we're going to look at the healthy coping skills, the positive coping skills, and what we can do. So this week, I want you to really focus on the signs when you feel like you're getting mad. And I want you to practice that positive coping skill. And I want you to remember that even if you get mad the first time and you aren't able to practice that coping skill, try again the next time. It's not about the perfection. It's not about being perfect. It's about the progress that we make. Maybe this time we did it, next time we don't, but we're gonna get right back on it and try again. That's the progress that we make. So remember that. Take this, keep this, and be aware. Listen to those signs. Now the last thing that I have for you, you all can take your pens back, is a brief evaluation. This evaluation is to allow us to continue to work for you. This evaluation will allow us to know where we need help, what else we can do at the bottom, and ask for additional comments. If there's something else that you'd like to add to these groups, let us know. I'd also like to tell you that all of this is confidential. You'll notice that there's not a section on here that says to state your name. Once you fill this out, you can place your pen down so I know that you're done, and you can place your paper space down in the middle. So I want to thank you all for coming today, and I look forward to seeing you all in the future. Take these handouts with you and practice them. And if you need anything, you can call our offices for any information or any help that you may need. So thank you all for coming. Y'all have a great evening.